the 16th of December, quarter after 8 at night. It's a Saturday, and I guess I have to apologize for not keeping in touch as well as I should have. But I don't know. It's awfully hard to write and write and write when you're over here. I've been awfully busy lately, and I get tired, and then I guess I just don't feel like writing or sending a tape. But I'm just listening to the tape you sent around Thanksgiving and listening to Grandpa talk about his camping trip. Sure is good to hear their voices again. They sound so well, it's incredible. Seems like they get better every year. I haven't written anything down in the past couple days or weeks as cues to my tape here, so I'll try the best I can on this 30-minute tape. I got your letter also, and Mom, thanks a lot for the Beeman's gum. I stopped at the post office with somebody. I forget. We were on our bikes, and I felt this package. I thought, boy, it's awfully heavy. What could it be? Couldn't send me a watch. I don't need a watch. I shook it, and I couldn't tell. And then when I opened it up, I had to laugh so hard. I couldn't believe that you actually found another place that has Beemans. I'd be interested to hear who's got it, whether it was Weiss's or another store. As far as work goes, can't really tell you much about Tegu until I get home. It's hard to describe a lot of the things I've done here until I see you face to face and explain it a little bit better. So I'll try to leave a lot of the business part of it out. Been riding the bike pretty much. I think what did I write in the letter? I told you about our trip. We went to a place called Cheonju, which is 2.5 hours away. And we, Pete Hook and another guy and myself, rode our bikes all the way up there to register them in this rather nice city compared to Kunsan. This Kunsan really is the pits. And up there they have wide streets, clean, and it was an interesting little trip, and it took forever. I thought it would never end. I guess it took us almost 3 hours to get there. Then it was cold and rather interesting. And my bike conked out once in a while. I don't know what's wrong with it. Something to do with the plugs, I guess. And I got a couple of pictures via Pete's camera. By the way, I have my own camera now. It's a Vivitar Instamatic with a built-in flash, so I've been taking quite a few pictures. But I got a picture of Cheonju using Pete's camera, and I'll be sending those as soon as he gets them developed. Seem to be coming down with a cold just tonight. I've been having sore throats, but I guess it's because of the cold. Well, it's not that cold. It has been around 40 degrees, but it's windy and not that unpleasant. It's very much like PA. Just this morning, Pete Hook and I took our bikes and went downtown to Kunsan, and it's kind of cold, but I still like to ride the bikes, and it's a lot of fun. We usually ride down the roads two abreast, and rather fast sometimes. But it's real interesting. So I went down, Dad, and picked up your suit, which took a while to do. I ordered a dark blue 3-piece polyester wool blend, some kind of suit, and some gray pants to go with that. And your corduroy suit, which I have already papered up here and ready to send it out in the mail. So Merry Christmas. So speaking of that, I'll get back to Kunsan again. I sent all the Christmas presents via the catalog. So please let me know when you get them. Dad, one of your presents won't be getting there for quite a while because that particular item, well, I don't want to say too much or I'll give it away. Well, just take my word for it, it'll probably take a while. You should be getting, Mom, one present for you, one present for Dad, and one present for both of you, plus Dad's corduroy suit. And I also got Jen and Jim some presents and Nancy present from the catalog. I still wish you'd send a picture of Teddy so I can get a portrait made of him downtown. Maybe you guys forgot about it. It was also funny to hear him on the tape, your last tape. I had a laugh so hard. I wish you could send more of his voice, not necessarily barking, but just being a clown. So we went downtown, and then after we had talked to the girl that does all, she's kind of the second in charge of Hamilton's. I got a picture of her just so I could send that home. Took a lot of pictures today, a lot of pictures, and I'm having a roll of 20 shots developed right now at the BX with my new camera. I hope to get that next Friday. Let me see what else. So we rode around, went up on a hill where they have this type of, not sculpture, but it's a, I don't know, some kind of rather abstract monument to sailing. Got quite a few pictures there overlooking Kunsan City. And then we came back, so that was a couple hours off the Kun here. Try to get back to the tape now and answer some of the questions that you may have had. Okay, what have you been doing to my little car, my past car? We really have our luck with cars. It's incredible. I thought that I had pretty good luck with it though all that time, never having any problems with it, so I guess we were pretty lucky, or I was pretty lucky. I haven't decided on what kind of car I want to get. I still want to get a Porsche 924, I believe it is. It's rather expensive, but I still haven't decided if I'm going to get that or not. I went by the Ford, the car salesman today, and looked at. I didn't talk to the guy because he was busy, but I'm thinking maybe if I don't get that, possibly a Cougar XR7, because the prices are really dirt cheap through these guys. And I guess they order them factory direct. And I wish I could order you, Dad, maybe a Mark V, because they like $3,000, $4,000 off. That's pretty nice. But I've got a lot of time to do that. I wrote back to the Navy Exchange and asked for my money back on the Sony TV. So I think I'll go ahead and, what I'd like you to do, if you can, and I haven't made up my mind yet, is check on the prices of a Zenith colored TV, a portable 19-inch, and see how much the prices are. Maybe send me some literature on it. They only have one 19-inch in the catalog, and the price is, let me check real quick. Okay, it's the model K1938W. It goes for $430 plus $15.75 for shipping and handling. I'm possibly going to try to get that. The Sony Trinitron I ordered went up $40 as I told you, and that alone would have been around $430. So heck with them. I get 4 more inches for $430. And what I do is probably just order it and have it sent home to Pottstown instead of bringing it back here, because I have a little TV now that I got through billeting. It's probably a 12-inch and it's black and white and it's not that good, but I'd still rather not have the thing shipped all the way over than I'd have to have it shipped all the way back. Which brings me to the point, I can't wait to get my stereo. I hope Warminster has gotten the paperwork and can pick the my stereo up, hopefully in one piece. Appreciate all the help you can give me there. I know it's a pain, and I'll send what I'll do is send a letter, so don't expect that to be much writing. I don't know if I've sent you. This sounds confusing. Well, I'll send you a check for all the mailing that goes on. What I was trying to say is I can't remember who I sent Christmas cards to because I didn't mark them down. I sent one to Grandma Blank and Grandpa Blank, Grandma and Grandpa Flood, and I think I may have sent one of them too. I can't remember if I sent you guys one yet, and I can't remember if I sent Jan and Jim one. I'm pretty sure I did. Smart, huh? Well, we'll see. I still have a couple of cards here. I sent one to Uncle Bill and Aunt Ellen, Janie, and Chris. What I'd also, when I send this check home, I'll send along a letter addressed, or not addressed, but written to the Jacobs, a Christmas card. So go in I have, Dad, that calendar book you gave me from 1977. Could you go in there in the beginning and check the Jacobs address, because I just don't have it with me, and it would be impossible to send it to. So if I send it in an envelope to you, I've got a stamp on it, and all I have to do is put the address on. I appreciate that. That's pretty much that. I did receive your package, and I haven't opened it yet, and received all the records. It's great. I can't wait to get the other ones, although I don't have much. I really shouldn't be playing them on this old turntable because it'll just ruin the records. Although I did listen to Messiah, and it shouldn't hurt that old record. But boy, I was sure glad to hear that again. Another point. You keep talking about my car and having one car. Where is your car? Haven't heard much. Do you still have it or what? I guess you'll let me know. I can't believe that you're going to swing another McDill deal. I think that's a riot. If anybody can do it, Dad, I guess you can. Please let me know on the airplane out of Grissom for my trip home in April. I'm still not sure what's going on there. Oh, Dad, I still haven't heard anything from Colonel Cunningham. I don't know if he's going to bother to write me back that he received my letter. If you should talk to him on the phone or something like that, you might ask him if he received my letter. I think it would be super if you could get that trip to England. Just fantastic. Just like old times in the 97. Except the airplane goes a little bit faster. So I hope you work on that. I might mention one thing. I was able to work out and knock on wood. I hope it comes true, but when they talk about crewing somebody together, it means you take two guys and they fly together for most of the time. That's the way they did it in wartime. So each guy knows each other's faults and good points, and you'll be able to fly together well. So the guy I sponsored, I was a sponsor to, he and I, he's another first lieutenant. He's from Alabama, and imagine me being crewed with a rebel, and he went to the academy. So he and I will probably start flying together. We hope we get along pretty good and have a lot of like opinions and like ideals. So we're coming up this week on a surge. I'll probably be flying 5 times a day for one day, starting like at 2 in the morning and just flying. I don't know how I'm gonna like that or not, but we'll see. They just want to see how well they can generate the airplanes. Well, I'm glad to hear that things are going a little bit better with your business, Dad. I just hope everything goes well. I hope things go better at home, you know. Hope that you would get something set up closer to home. My attitudes about staying in haven't changed, and I don't think they ever will. I still plan to get out sometime and maybe fly for the Guard. Still want that pilot slot though as well. Looking toward the sports side, it looks like the Sixers haven't been playing as well as they did at the beginning of the season. I really had a lot of hopes for them. Now they're not even in first place. I guess the Eagles are somewhat of a changed team and have their own respect in the NFL. But the big news to me is St. Joe's. They've been having their scores in, and this is a different St. Joe's. They've been doing awfully well. I guess the last part of my I guess you missed the last part of my transmission. I guess I just said that, didn't I? Well, uh, I hope you could send me some stuff on St. Joe's and tell me what the paper thinks of how good they're doing. I'm really interested to know what's going on. Let me see what else I have to say. It's funny about Jan's dogs, isn't it? Getting up on the bed with her. It's clowns, I tell you. Can't wait to get back and see all the animals. It's great. I really don't have much more to say. Only that I guess by now you know or figured out that I was promoted. Big deal, huh? It's a big deal as far as pay goes. It's incredible the amount of increase in pay I had. So it sure is nice to have this nice kind of stuff. Helps when you want to buy presents as well. Well, I think I'll sign off right now. Sorry I don't have much more to say. There's a heck of a lot more going on at home than there is here, you have to understand. And also there's a lot more, as I've said before, that I could tell you just by answering questions or just discussing and going from one subject to another. It's hard to say something without any response from anyone. So I don't think I've had anything new. I took a picture of I've got a picture of my bike. So as soon as those pictures are developed, I'll send them home and you can take a look at them. I sure will try to get this tape off soon, as well as the suit and the check and the card. It sure is great to hear from everybody, and I got your card and appreciate it, and got Grandma and Grandpa's cards. And I'll try to write to Nancy as soon as I can. I did receive her letter. It sure was good to hear from her. As well as Jan. I got a letter last week from her on clothing. Tell me what's in style and what's not. Say hello to Teddy and everybody else. Tell them I miss everybody and can't wait to get home. So for now, I think I'll sign off and talk to you later. So at 43, I thought about 39,000 feet up, I thought it would be an eternity. So as soon as we reached 43,000, we came down to 25,000 and took our mask off again like the day before and wrote down our hypoxia symptoms to reinforce it, to make sure that we know what our symptoms are. So if we're flying and that happens, we know that we've got to get on oxygen or take the aircraft down to a lower altitude. So I lasted a little bit longer today, or not today, but yesterday. So it was, no big deal. So then they let us down all the way and let us out of the chamber for just a few seconds. And they picked the first four, which I was number 3, and put us in another part of the chamber. And as Dad can tell you about rapid decompression, it's something to really experience. So they have one observer in there with you, and they take you up to 8,000 feet. And then they perform a rapid decompression, which puts you up to 22,000 feet in, I think they describe it as 5
tenths of a second. And so this is with your mask off, and suddenly there's a big, not a bang, but a big whoosh, and the cabin just fills with fog, and any air that you had in your lungs is completely dispersed from them. It was like exhaling as hard as I could, and then immediately we had to go to our oxygen, or we would have passed out or even died, I guess, with the lack of oxygen. But there were no problems. It was kind of fun to do that. Oh, I conquered that problem. No, it really was no problem. But it's pretty necessary when you're flying to know all about that. So I was telling Dad on the phone I was issued all my flight stuff. I had 2 jackets, a winter flying jacket and gloves and the new boots, and a flight suit, which is temporary. They didn't have my size. So as it comes down to it, it's actually it's an advantage to have this temporary flight suit because of the treatment it's gotten the past 2 days. Earlier that morning, before the last chamber ride, we went outside and we were given parachute landing fall training, which is given by a bunch of the physiological trainers out here. Almost all of them are NCOs, and they're a bunch of good guys. They make you feel at ease. So they tell you the different ways to jump if you had to bail out and eject. The first thing we did was pull along on the dirt, and this is what all the other guys had, these brand new flight suits, and me with my temporary flight suit was getting all filthy dirty, being dragged on the ground. 3 guys would pull us, which is a simulation if you land after you eject and landed, that the wind caught your parachute and dragged you on the ground. How do you get out of it? And there are these 2 latches, so to speak, to unhook you from the parachute. So they dragged us along. We had to unhook the parachute as quick as we could. And then they put you in a swing land trainer after you practice these different falls, forward, to the right, to the left, and then do rear falls. If you were coming in for a landing and your back was to the direction you were going, without breaking your legs and your hip and your neck and everything else you could break. I kind of thought that it was all kind of fun since I feel uncoordinated enough to handle it. Then they put you on this little trainer where it simulate you're about 10 feet off the ground. They put you in this simulated parachute environment where you're hanging there, and the guy swings you down and you have to land. And all this is on gravel. They don't put you in sand or anything like that, so you want to prepare you for it. So the guy said I did rather well. So I was one of the first guys done. So then after that, I had my flight suit that I had before I came out here. I had all my rank and patches sewed on, so I wore that the rest of the day. And we did ejection seat procedures. They have a little mock-up of the T-37, and they test to see if you can get out. You have to put the helmet on and gloves, and they strap you in, and then this little seat actually pushes you away from it, and you have to see if you can unlock your harness and everything else before the system automatically does. So that was kind of fun. But the big thrill this week was this morning. At 8 o'clock, we had to go out near the golf course, which right next door to the golf course is a huge field where they do parachute training. They call it parasailing. And all you've learned from the day prior to that is for good. And if they didn't feel you couldn't land today, they would have kept you back. But all of us passed the test yesterday. And this is in a field full of rocks and hills and whatnot and gullies. Pretty flat field, but you can't see up from that high what it looks like on the ground until you get there. So what they do is they strap you in a parachute, which is opened, and they give you elbow pads and knee pads, and hook you to a truck, an Air Force pickup truck, and they have a small runway. It's not actually a runway, but they call it a runway, which the truck pulls you on. So they get the parachute inflated, and the guy radios the truck, and he pulls you along, and you're running. And because I was so light, I didn't have to run very far before I was in the air. The first part where they just towed you up, and they kept the rope on you, and it was about, a 60-foot rope. And the truck pulled me along, and I got up in the air, and this thing beats any amusement ride in the world. I was a little bit nervous and scared about doing it, because there's always the fear of the unknown, maybe my straps coming undone, me plummeting to the ground and killing myself. But everybody, I was the third guy to do it, so I got to see everybody else, the two guys in front of me do it. But that really didn't help. So the truck pulled me up, and I shot up. It's unbelievable. I don't know the feet per second, but it's unbelievable. As soon as that wind catches that parachute, you're up there so quick to about, I'd say 200 feet when the rope is still hooked. I'm clenching my teeth and feeling the G's as they pull me up. And as I said, the first run, they keep you hooked up, and then they pull you down gradually with the truck. And then there's a landing zone guy who's telling you through a bullhorn how to steer and whatnot, and then you keep your eyes on the horizon, and you land. So you actually put into effect what you learned, the day before. And my first one, I landed on the road on the macadam, which is approximately 10 feet wide. So they towed me right in there, and landed pretty hard, but I rolled over good enough for it not to hurt, although the pads helped quite a bit. Everybody else went through it. Then the second one, they used, about 100-foot rope and a reel on the truck, and they pulled you up, and I'm telling you, even shot up more. And because I was so light, like a few of the other guys, we shot up there so high, it must have been 400 feet. And you look up, and the guys are so small below, and it's just a feeling. It's really unbelievable. And then they release you, and that's quite a system. You kind of sway when they do it. So you grab onto the rear risers, and you're falling and falling and falling. And the wind was blowing out pretty good today. And the guy down below is telling you which way to turn. And again, I landed on the road. And it wasn't too bad. I landed okay. And that was a real great sense of accomplishment. So then I qualified to go on the third and last run, which was no different than the second one. And I got hooked up, and they pulled me. I ran, and I kept on pedaling. Then you stick your arms out to the side like Superman, like you're flying. And you shoot up there so fast, and he released me. I was coming down, and I landed in the dirt, but it was the hardest landing I had had. But I didn't get hurt. Some people before me, classes before us, were hurt though, broken ankles and legs. So it came off pretty good. So we're all done with the chamber and the parasailing. It's really something you've got to see to believe or do to believe. It's really an incredible ride. Needless to say, I can't wait for the T-37 ride. We see a lot of them flying around here. Those screaming little tweets, they call them. Well, I might as well talk about this apartment. As I said, I moved off base, and I'm still keeping the room on base. I still have my snow tires in there, and a few other little odds and ends, like the golf bag cover and whatnot. So, as I've said, we're trying to, another guy and I told you guys about Rock, who lives up to his name, played football for Nebraska, I guess, is getting a townhouse. I don't know how he's going to be able to afford it, because that place is a lot more expensive than this. But we're trying to keep up the occupancy to 9. It's right now, they say it's 97%. And to get BAQ, which is the allowance that they'll give you to live off base, in other words, right now I'm on my own money, so it has to reach 98%. So Rock and I are keeping our apartments, so they think we're still living there. So if we get BAQ, we'll just completely leave the rooms in name only. And enough of that garbage. So I'm sitting here in this apartment. It's a